Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining our amazing webinar today about pathways to medicine or pathways to practicing medicine here in Canada. This is a joint kind of presentation webinar between Windmill Microlending here and Sure Success Canada. We have a bunch of amazing speakers as well as panelists here from Sure Success Canada. So as you can see, they all are already here. And this is going to be a wonderful way for you to learn a little bit more about, what it's like to be an IMG, getting into Canada, and also all the different supports that we at Windmill offer, as well as all the supports here that Sure Success offers. I'll also do a quick little introduction as we get later onto the call, but you'll hear a little bit from the CEO and founder of Sure Success, who is Dr. Mohammed Syed. And then we'll also hear from Lydia May, who is our partnerships development lead as well. But yeah, I think that's basically everything I had to kind of talk about at the start. I did want to actually open up a poll because I think it's always something that's really intriguing to see. So I'm just going to launch a poll just, as I'm always kind of curious, where is everyone joining from? If you're able just to click in, that'd be amazing to see. I see we already have a good amount of responses. So thank you. Wow. Okay. They're
Yes,
going.
Alberta, yeah.
A big amount from Ontario, so that's always good to see. Alberta, yeah, Manitoba, BC. Awesome.
Even
Perfect.
Newfoundland and Labrador.
Oh
Yeah,
yes,
that's
I see that.
cool.
Yeah. And Quebec, I see one from Quebec. Actually, that does also remind me, there should be an auto translation feature. So if you're a French speaker and you'd rather kind of read subtitles in French, there should be a caption button on the bottom. You can click that, and it should auto translate to. If you select French, it should translate to French. Awesome. Okay. Well, I guess if we're all good to go, maybe I'll pass it off and I'll stop sharing. I'll pass off to you, Dr. Muhammad, if you want to go ahead and start your screen sharing. Wonderful. We see
Okay,
your screen.
great. Yeah,
Yeah.
perfect.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone, and good evening as well, because I know that we have many participants joining us from all over the world. And thank you for joining us today. My name is Dr. Mohammed Sayed, and I'm very pleased to welcome you to this session on the pathway for international medical graduates to practice medicine in Canada. Um, First of all, I would like to acknowledge the dedication and resilience of all the physicians who have joined this session today. Moving to a new country and pursuing medical licensure, again, is not an easy journey. It requires patience, strategy, planning, and perseverance. Canada has a strong healthcare system, but at the same time, it is experiencing a significant shortage of physicians. International medical graduates play an essential role in helping address this need and strengthening the healthcare workforce. However, many IMGs find the process confusing because the pathway to licensure involves multiple steps: examination, organization, and provincial requirements. The purpose of today's presentation is to provide a clear structure overview of pathways available for IMGs in Canada, explain the key exams and licensing process, and help you understand how you can plan your journey effectively. During this session, we will discuss who is considered an international medical graduate. We will try to understand this, the current physician shortage in Canada, the main pathways available for IMGs, required examinations such as MCCQE1, NAC OSCE, OET, TDM, provincial licensing authorities, and strategies to successfully navigate the process. Our goal is to provide guidance, clarity, and encouragement so that you can take the next step in your medical career with confidence. Thank you again for joining us today, and let us begin by understanding the current physician shortage in Canada. I think you can see my slide. Um, So a brief overview I will give you. Canada is facing a significant and escalating shortage of physicians, creating a substantial job market for international medical graduates. An international graduate, who is an international medical graduate? So international medical graduate is a doctor who completed their medical education outside Canada at a medical school listed in World Directory of Medical Schools, which incorporates data from World Health Organization and FAMER, Foundation for Advancement of International Medical Education and Research, and whose degree is not accredited by the Liaison Committee on Medical Foundation Education in US or the Committee on Accreditation of Canadian Medical Schools, CACMS. It means that if you qualify from US and Canada, you're not IMGs. And IMGs are those whose schools are listed in WHO, FAMER. Now, going further, Canada is projected to be short nearly 44,000 physicians by 2028, with over 30,000 of that deficit being in family medicine. This pressing need is underscored by the fact that over 6.5 million Canadians do not have regular access to a family doctor. The situation is particularly acute in rural and underserved areas, where communities often wait months for medical appointments. So immigrants already play a crucial role in Canadian healthcare sector, with 36% of physicians being foreign trained. In fact, data from a recent study shows that 1 in every 4 healthcare sector worker in Canada is an immigrant. Now, residency positions, which positions are available for us? Total residency positions, 2024 data says 3,800 through CARMS, Canadian Resident Matching Service. IMG specific positions are 500 to 600 spots. It varies yearly. Ontario being like the most, 200 plus spots, British Columbia 100, Alberta 80, and Saskatchewan around 50. Canada aims to admit 5,000 to 8,000 healthcare workers per year, including doctors, nurses. The specific doctors' targets are not publicized, but 1,000 plus physicians per year immigrate via PR. 1,500 to 2,000 IMGs per year successfully enter Canadian health system. If you divide them into like residency, through residency, 500 to 600, PRA license pathway, 200 to 400, and direct PR, which I will discuss later, 500 to 1,000. Future projection demand is Canada needs 30,000 more doctors by 2030. And IMGs will fill 25 to 40% of this gap, like 2,000, 3,000 per year expected in coming years. And what they require? They require MCCQE1, NAC OSCE, residency, PRA, TDM. So there are various types of exams offered, and we will talk about that. Main IMG pathways are residency via CARMS. That is the most popular. Every year they accept residency for residents for their hospitals, and they train them. And after training, like 2 to 3 years to 5 years, depending on the specialities, they will receive a full license to practice. The other one is practice ready assessment, who are already they are specialists in their country. There are some conditions, we will talk about that. And another one is a specialist recognition. Other than 6 countries, they need to get recognition. How they get recognition, we will talk about that also later on. Restricted or academic licensure is also available, for whom we will further explore. Now about the salary. So what the incentives? Employment rates for IMGs, you can see here, family physicians, 200K to 300K per year after full licensure, specialists, 250 to 500, and some provinces like Saskatchewan, Manitoba, Newfoundland, Nova Scotia, they prioritize IMGs more than Ontario and BC. So we'll see how they are more inclined towards IMGs and more opportunities for IMGs. How medical licensing works in Canada? Licensing is provincial, not federal. So to allow any doctor to practice by provinces. And federally, you get a license, federal license, which is called LLMC. Yeah. So licensing is provincial. Multiple pathways exist depending on experience, and planning early saves years. That is so why we are here for planning. Plan ahead of time. Now, let us talk about CARMS, residency pathway. So highly competitive, national matching system requires MCCQE1 NAC OSCE, and for English, OET, IELTS, HELPIP, anything is available, acceptable. FM Pro C, some universities, they request for FM Pro C. This is family medicine exam, a short exam, 1 hour exam, and leads to full independent license when you complete residency. PRA is a practice-ready assessment for experienced independent physicians like specialist degree obtained and training program attended in their home, same country. So the degree and training program should match, in the sense that it's same country, they should belong to same country. Some people, they get training in one country and they get degree from other countries, not acceptable here. Like overseas, MRCP, or like that. Training and degree should match. Advertise from time to time these positions and available in select provinces. We will give you all the links and email addresses, how to contact them. Short supervised assessment before licensing. So they usually offer job after 3 months to 6 months of supervised, but they usually request TDM more than MCCQE1, NAC OSCE is TDM. This is a therapeutic decision-making exam. And a short period of supervision, 3 months to 6 months, they can start practice. A specialist recognition pathway, these are when they are recognized as specialist in other part of the world, and they have a good deal of experience, they can apply for that also. And if they pass MCCQE1, they are exempted from Part 1 Royal College of Canadian exam. And after completing 2 years, they will be allowed to work in Canada. After completing 2 years, they will appear the second part of Royal College of Canada exam. If they pass, they will receive a full license, a specialist license. So this is one of the pathway also. For family medicine, it is called College of Family Medicine. The Royal is a Royal College. They take care of specialties like internal medicine and cardiology and general surgery. The restricted and academic license, hospital or university sponsored, limited scope and location, may convert to full license later, but MCCQE1 is mandatory. So they will be allowed to work under limited license, and they are usually given 2 years to pass MCCQE1. Once they pass MCCQE1, they are eligible for Part 2 final exam. They are exempted from first part. These are for surgeons, for specialists, cardiologists, it covers all fields, but it depends on hospitals. So means hospital and university sponsored. If there is position, then you can avail. Mandatory for all IMGs or credential verification. What you need actually to start with is credential verification. And mandatory for all IMGs, create account on Physician Apply, verify medical degree and transcript. There is a way how to verify. Pass next step. So the next step after verification is to go for exam, prepare for exam, and appear in exam. Pass MCCQE1 NAC OSCE required for all pathways, almost all pathways. NAC OSCE can be exempted in some of them, like I said about to the PRA. In some provinces, they ask you to pass MCCQE1 and TDM only. And you can skip NAC OSCE. Target IMGs friendly province are Saskatchewan, Manitoba, Alberta, Nova Scotia for high residency and PRA chances. Consider rural underserved areas, faster licensing, more job openings, especially new job openings in Alberta. They are offering, if you pass QE1 and TDM, then with a short period of supervision, you can be granted license to practice. But you have to serve in rural areas, underserved areas. Explore PR options, express entry, they're healthcare workers. They have this, lawyers can tell you, immigrant lawyers, what are the options available. The provinces more accessible for international medical graduates are Ontario. You can see Ontario. Mostly they like to accept physicians through residency program. And they're highly competitive. Quebec require French language proficiency. And few programs can accept English also. Most of them, they require French language proficiency. And through residency, mostly through residency. British Columbia, competitive, but PRA available. So PRA is also available for British Columbia. Saskatchewan, one of the most IMG-friendly provinces. They're open for practice-ready assessment, residencies. Manitoba, good opportunities for experienced physician. PRA, Manitoba residency, like short supervision period. 3 months to 1 year, depending on credentials. Alberta, high demand for family physicians. PRA, rural programs. That rural programs I was mentioning. The rural programs can accept you with MCCQE1, even if you are not a specialist, but you have to pass TDM. British Columbia, a structured pathway for experienced doctors. PRA, BC, Nova Scotia, PRA, Newfoundland, and Labrador, residency and provisional license. So they send to physician shortage areas. Key resources for international medical graduates in Canada. So you will find these are the organization you need to know about them: Medical Council of Canada, physicianapply.ca, Canadian Resident Matching Service. And you can see besides all the websites addresses are available, and we will share with you, Tim will share with you who are attending the session. College of Family Physician of Canada and Royal College of Physician and Surgeon of Canada. So you see, College of Family Medicine of Canada will deal with the family physicians, and Royal will deal with other than family physician, all the other fields like internal medicine, cardiology, general surgery, neurosurgery, and then Health Match BC. This is their website, and you can communicate with them, send your credentials, and see what they're asking, and then you work on it. Alberta International Medical Graduate Program, and beside you will see their website also. And the role is written here. They usually, they are the authorities, and they provide certifications and recruitment. They are responsible for certification recruitments. Medical regulatory authorities, their websites written here, besides smaller, but you can access for Alberta, British Columbia, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, written here. For other provinces, you will find websites and addresses and their role. Territorial authorities, many options are open here also. Yukon, Northwest Territory, Nunavut, Government of Nunavut Department of Health, and Yukon Medical Council. You can communicate with them and ask what they're looking for and send your credentials. So we will talk about what is MCCQE1, how, what they are looking for. One thing I will explain to you, they are looking for a doctor who can work in their hospital. I always say that. So what do you think? They need a doctor who has a theoretical knowledge, which he can apply practically on patient. So they call it this clinical decision making. So they need a clinical decision maker. So don't try to collect theoretical knowledge, which you cannot transfer to patient. They are looking for that. And their focus is first year resident. For first year residency, can you survive first year? So your knowledge, then practical, how to perform is NAC OSCE. Then TDM is final thing that they are looking for your prescription habit, how you write your prescription, the correct choice of medication. That is TDM. So it's a whole, you will see, and then OET as well, how you will communicate with your seniors, juniors, that is OET. Occupational English test. So as a whole, when you are done with everything, they see in interview whether they can work with you or not. So this is the objective. Now, what is MCCQE1 format, computer-based multiple choice, designed to assess clinical decision-making concept? It's a clinical decision-making. It's not a lot of theories. If you know, then you can pass. It's a clinical decision-making concept. So test medical knowledge, clinical reasoning, and application of concept across disciplines like internal medicine, surgery, pediatrics. What are the skills they assess? Theoretical knowledge, diagnostic and management skills, interpretation of medical literature and guidelines, how you interpret and help patient. This is their target. NAC OSCE exam. This is a National Assessment Collaboration Objective Structured Clinical Exam, practical stations based on like simulated patient interaction, and which involves history taking, physical exams. Sometimes they ask you to take history, sometimes to take focus history, focus exam, sometimes only exam, and counseling. Most of the stations are counseling stations. So how you deliver, how you transfer your knowledge to patient. in their language, a layperson language. Content focuses on clinical skills, communication, and professionalism in a time setting, 8 minutes to 11 minutes stations. What are the skills they assess? Patient communication, empathy, and physical examination techniques, clinical problem solving in real time. So they're assessing a doctor who can work in their hospital. So this is the practical aspect. Theoretical aspect was QE1. Now TDM is exam assesses whether a physician can select the most appropriate treatment for a patient. They will ask you to write 3 medicine, 2 medicine. Important side effect, why you will not give this medication. These are the therapeutic decision making. Avoid unnecessary test or harmful treatment. Apply clinical guidelines, evidence-based medicine. The goal is to ensure physicians can make sound therapeutic decisions in real clinical situation. Now, the question is, how can we help you? So to pass these exams, I would say, the most difficult exam, MCCQE1, NAC OSCE. The Canadian exams are the most difficult exam. What we do, we provide you support. Like for MCCQE1 preparation course, NAC OSCE preparation course, TDM exam, we are starting from May. IELTS and OET, we also offer CELPIP. And we have a mentorship program also by Canadian trained physicians for CARMs. So they're already working in hospitals. They are resident there, or they are already working as a specialist, and they will help you. They are your mentors. And the personal statement, application guidance, how to develop resume, CV, and they prepare for interviews, all guidance. Once you are included in our mentorship program, from A to Z, we go with you till you are selected. Observership program also we offer in a family clinic. It's 12-week program just to gain Canadian experience, which is not equivalent to independent practice, which you go back to your home country and get an independent practice experience. But it is also, they accept as an attachment or observership, and our family doctor will give you LORs, letter of recommendation and reference. So usually you require 3 references to apply in Canadian programs. So one of the references you will get from us doing this observership. It's a 12 weeks program. And this is our number and website, and this is our location, but we offer all over Canada. Like you can attend all over the world. People are attending from all over the world because it's simulcast at the same time. Our sessions on Zoom available. You can attend a live class. So in-person classes also we hold, and people attend from all over the world on Zoom. If they miss any class, we provide video recordings of the missed class. About MCCQE1, our instructors will give you some idea. These are the program, like we have morning, evening groups, and 3-hour classes per week we offer, and a weekly mock test for each group. Every week we do evaluation. Evaluation will go to registrar office. We usually know how our students are doing. And 16-week semester for each group, and lecture slides, PDF we provide you. We provide you WhatsApp group, private WhatsApp group, and you can communicate with your friends that all materials are according to most up-to-date Canadian guidelines, video recording of missed sessions. NAC OSCE, same way, morning and evening classes, we have 2 to 3 hours classes, and we provide you reading material, private WhatsApp group, video recording of the missed sessions, and we train you as you can attend online as well. And the last 2 weeks, we provide you daily classes before your exam, and you can come here and practice from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. And we have daily classes. That's the crash course. It is usually included in the program. TDM starting from May and scheduled to be announced. OET, same way, morning, evening classes available, 8 to 10 week course. Writing, reading, listening, speaking test, preparation classes, reading material, private WhatsApp group of class participants. And we have IELTS preparation course, same way, reading, writing, listening, speaking test. Mentorship program, our mentors will explain our mentorship program. And I've already explained that we support with the personal statements, comms application, interview, one-on-one session with workplace professional English proficiency, because we all are immigrant. If you need any help understanding English or listening or anything, these programs are also available. And this is the 6 months program to typical IMG timeline. So when you talk about how much time it will take, credential verification, usually 3 to 6 months. But during this time, you are allowed to write exam, right? Exam preparation, usually it takes 6 to 12 months for both exams. Training and assessment, when you join residency, 1 to 5 years, based on programs. IMG pathway summary, verification credentials, write exam, choose appropriate pathways, complete training assessment, obtain provincial license, and start your practice. The starting exam, this is the common IMG mistakes, what I'm going through. Starting exam without understanding pathways. So you should know the pathway for which pathway you're working on, ignoring provincial differences, and weak CV interview preparation. These are usually like common IMG mistakes. I would thank you for attending the class. I will pass on my mic to Tim. This is our phone numbers and website. You can contact us. If you have any question, you type a question in the Q&A box. We will answer your question in the end.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Dr. Mohammed. Yeah, as you can see, Sure Success, huge, like a lot of really amazing, great courses that they offer here, as well as other wraparound supports like their mentorship program. So a lot of great things if you're an IMG trying to get back into the field. So yeah, thank you once again so much, Dr. Mohammed, about giving that whole presentation and giving us a little bit more insight on exactly what it's like to be an IMG and all the different pathways. I really appreciate it. I did know that for the whole mentorship program, we do have a few of few of the mentors already on the call, and I know one of them has to hop off relatively soon because they are currently in the hospital working. So I will quickly pass it off to, I believe it was Dr. Nina. If you want to do a quick little introduction about the CARMS mentorship program, Dr. Nina, I can give a quick little overview of her. Sorry, let me. So yeah, so Dr. Nina Buzilla is from Quebec, who was actually the first online student here at Sure Success Canada. And she also now currently serves as one of their French CARMS mentors and is also a specialized psychiatrist in Ontario. So I'll pass it off to you if you want to do a quick little introduction about the CARMS mentorship program with Sure Success in maybe French. And then after that, I'll pass it off to Dr. Romela during the Q&A session to maybe do it in English.
Bonjour à tous. Je ne sais pas combien de monde vont me comprendre. Si vous voulez écrire seulement dans le chat, et je suis désolée pour les gens qui ne comprennent pas le français. Euh, mais je suis contente d'être ici avec vous aujourd'hui et c'est avec un grand plaisir que je vais vous partager de ce qu'on peut vous offrir en tant qu'équipe. Et je vais essayer de vous expliquer brièvement comment qu'on aide les médecins formés à l'étranger pour réussir dans leur parcours en médecine ici au Canada. Et comme Dr. Saïd vous a dit, nous avons un programme de mentorat qui offre de l'accompagnement structuré et de l'accompagnement bien personnalisé pour les médecins. Et vous le savez, c'est un processus complexe pour avoir le droit de pratiquer au Canada, mais je vous le confirme, c'est pas impossible et je vous encourage à ne pas renoncer à vos rêves. Et oui, comme je dis, le parcours est difficile. Et il y en a plusieurs défis. Il y a la préparation à l'examen, il y a l'acquisition de l'expérience, surtout clinique, le réseautage qui est tellement important. Et ce qui est tellement important, c'est la compréhension du système de santé canadien. Dès qu'on sait comment ça fonctionne, ça facilite énormément la, l'adaptation dans ce système. On va vous offrir du soutien aussi pour tout ce qui est l'orientation dans la carrière, tout ce qui est développement professionnel. Euh, on peut vous aider avec la révision du CV, l'édition de la lettre de motivation, la préparation pour les entrevues, les conseils pour les stages d'observation, l'opportunité de recherche, toutes les stratégies de recettage. Et nous vous aidons aussi à comprendre l'environnement du système de santé canadien, comme j'ai mentionné, et comment vous positionner justement d'une manière compétitive dans ce système. Et ce qui est plus important dans le programme, on vous offre l'encouragement continu. On sait que c'est pas facile et comme je vous le dis, s'il vous plaît, ne renoncez pas. On vous offre un soutien et le suivi avec une responsabilisation et l'accompagnement surtout personnalisé. Et on sait que beaucoup de médecins formés à l'étranger ressentent le doute et l'incertitude. Et avoir un mentor, croyez-moi, ça aide énormément à réussir. Ça fait toute une grande différence. Et nous sommes là pour vous accompagner étape par étape. Et pour ça qu'on est capable de vous offrir plus des séances individuelles. Et la mission reste quand même vous aider dans la réussite des examens, vous aider à vous construire une carrière médicale qui va durer ici au Canada. Et comme mon collègue vous l'a dit, moi-même, j'ai fait la préparation pour les examens avec Dr. Saïd. Et je vous dis, c'est la qualité dans la préparation des examens qui compte le plus. Je vous encourage à le faire et ça va pas seulement être l'accompagnement continu, vous allez y réussir. Et maintenant, comme mon collègue vous a dit, je comprends, je pratique, je suis psychiatre en Ontario et j'aide également les étudiants à réussir dans notre programme. Désolée pour ceux qui n'ont pas compris le français. Désolée. C'est tout. So sorry for people that didn't understood my French. It was for our physicians who would like to prepare for the exams in French.
No worries.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Dr. Nina. I really appreciate it, especially because a lot of our webinars are usually English. So it's great to hear some French and be able to reach that audience as well. I did see a question earlier that said that, yeah, they didn't understand what Dr. Nina was saying because they were in French. We will have Dr. Romela after during the Q&A session, who will also give a quick overview of the CARMS mentorship program that Sure Success offers in English as well. So we'll get to that shortly. Um, I do kind of want to pass this off a little bit to Dr. Mohammed, where I'm going to ask Mr. Mohammed just a few questions. And that's simply just because I can give a quick little overview. At Windmill Microlending, we are a national charity which we focus on supporting new immigrants get recertified in their careers. And I'll let Lydia May talk a little bit more about that later on. But I'm very fortunate enough to have Dr. Mohammed on this call because not only is he the CEO and founder of Sure Success, a prep school here in Canada for IMGs, but he's also actually a previous client of ours here at Windmill. And I believe Dr. Mohammed, I think you got a loan from us back in 2015. And it's honestly great to see how you went from being an IMG to now being a doctor to now opening up your own prep school. It's honestly amazing, amazing. It's just an amazing thing to see. So I wanted to ask you, Dr. Mohammed, just a quick few
Yeah,
questions.
most
Yeah,
welcome. Yeah.
yeah. I wanted to ask, just could you briefly share with us and the audience, like your journey as an internationally trained doctor, and maybe what was like the first thing that kind of brought you to Canada? Like, why'd you pick Canada?
Yeah. So your second question, I will answer first. My family and I decided to come to Canada mainly for two reasons. To provide better education opportunities to our kids and to continue my professional development as a physician. So before coming to Canada, I had worked in several areas of medicine, including family medicine, emergency medicine, and neurosurgery in a tertiary care setting. I was also involved in training doctors in the hospital, which gave me a strong interest in medical education. When I arrived here, my goal was to continue my medical career. Next, I had to prepare for Canadian license examination. Fortunately, I passed my examination on the first attempt and obtained a LMCC certification, which is a federal license. Like many internationally trained physicians, my journey in Canada has been both challenging and rewarding. So this is, I can answer your question this way.
Yeah, no, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Sorry, I did also just get a quick message from one of the mentors of the CARMS program, Dr. Romela. She told me that she does have to hop off in a few because she is currently in the clinic. So I'll pause this really quickly. I'll pass it off to Dr. Romela if you want to give a quick little the English overview of what the CARMS mentorship program that you offer is.
Hello, everyone. My name is Dr. Rahman or Rahman. I am currently enrolled in a family medicine program in Ontario, and I run the CARMS mentorship program with Sure Success. And I've also been a student of Sure Success myself. And as the name suggests, it is Sure Success, as you can see, that I have successfully matched. In the CARMS program, I offer interview preparation, and I work alongside Mr. Shriplan, who offers the more so the application process and how to navigate that because it can be a very challenging process. And first of all, congratulations to all of you for having made the decision to come to Canada and go through the whole processing. I hope it's smooth sailing for all of you. When I offer the interview course or the interview preparation course for CARMS, I provide you with a lot of resources as well as a lot of ways of how to navigate the difficult questions with the negative connotations, with the positive connotations, as well as your body language and how to organize yourself in a way where you're systematically tackling those questions in the best way possible for the best outcome. There's different frameworks that we work through, for example, the spikes protocol, the STAR method, and all of those we practice for many sessions so that your answers are very concise and to the point. And I also make sure that I do some mock sessions with you so that you have adequate practice and you get adequate feedback from me on how to improve your questioning and answering so that you have the best outcome. If you have any questions for me for the PARMS interview course through Sure Success, the email registration at suresuccess.ca is right there. And you can direct all questions there, and I'll be happy to answer any questions and connect with all of you. I've had success with a few students, and I'm very proud of that. And I hope to see some of you in the Karma's mentorship program moving forward as well. Again, congratulations to all of you, and please direct all of those questions to this email, and I'll be happy to answer.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Dr. Rahman.
And just a little bit more about my background. I'm also an IMG, and I came from Pakistan in 2022, and I'm matched in 2025. So for all of you that think that it is a difficult process, yes, it is, but resilience is key, and all of you can match at your own pace and time. Okay, well, thank you. Thanks again.
Awesome. Thank you, Dr. Rahman.
Thank you, Dr.
Yeah, so I'll hop back into the questions with you, Dr. Mohammed.
Yeah, go ahead.
Just a quick question for you. I was kind of curious, when you started your whole licensure process here in Canada, what was like the biggest surprise or challenge you encountered as an IMG?
Yeah, one of the biggest, we would say, one of the biggest challenges I encountered was understanding how different is medical licensing pathway and healthcare system are in Canada. And even though many IMGs have strong clinical knowledge and years of experience, navigating the licensing process can be quite complex, and including exams, residency applications, gaining Canadian clinical exposure, and another challenge was balancing professional goals with personal responsibilities, especially family commitments. So, like many immigrants, we were also adjusting to a new country, new system, and new expectation at the same time. One thing that also surprised me, actually, was how important mentorship and guidance are during the journey. Many IMGs are highly capable, but without clear information and structured support, the pathway can feel overwhelming. However, these challenges also became opportunities for learning and growth. Through my own experience, I realized how valuable structured preparation, mentorship, community support are for internationally trained physicians. That understanding eventually motivated me to help other IMGs navigate the pathway through teaching, mentorship, observership, and the program we develop at Sure Success Canada.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you, Dr. Mohammed. I saw one question earlier in the chat that was talking a little bit more about the whole financial assistance part, and it's actually something I've also heard from some of our clients here at Windmill Microlending, where sometimes people might underestimate the whole financial cost of exams, things like prep exams, or anything that's needed during the whole process of reaccrediting as a physician here in Canada. I was curious when you first came to Canada, how did you navigate those financial challenges during your journey? I understand you took a loan with Windmill. I'd love to hear a little bit more about that.
Yeah, sure. When we immigrated to Canada, I had some ideas about the challenges internationally trained doctors could face. And while trying to continue my medical careers in a new healthcare system, however, during this journey, I also wanted to make sure that I did not place a financial burden on my family while preparing for my exam. During that time, I learned about the Immigrant Access Fund, which is now known as Windmills, which support internationally trained professionals by providing financial assistance for licensing and career development. With their support, I was able to continue my professional journey while managing my family responsibilities. After passing my exam, when I done with all the exams, required exams, I went through a very challenging period in my life. My children needed a great deal of my time and attention. And because of that, I was not able to commit to full-time work or training programs. Instead of stepping away from medicine, I chose to remain connected to the healthcare system by spending time in hospitals and clinics and learning more about how the Canadian healthcare system operates. My previous experience in family medicine, emergency medicine, and neurosurgery in a tertiary care center, along with my background in training doctors, allowed me to begin teaching students who were preparing for MCCQE1 and NAC OSCE exams. Later, after overcoming many earlier challenges, I faced another obstacle because I had been away from independent clinical practice for some time. I needed to regain recent clinical experience. To do that, I returned to my country, home country, and worked again there as a physician. Once again, I required financial assistance to take this step. So I contacted my previous case manager, Joyce, and explained my situation. And she was extremely supportive. She encouraged me to reapply for funding. And fortunately, my application was approved within about a week. With that support, I was able to regain my clinical experience and return to Canada in November 2025. I would like to thank Windmill Microlending and my case manager, Joyce, for their support and guidance during my journey. Their assistance helped me move forward with my professional goals. I would say thank you, Windmill.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Dr. Mohammed. It's honestly amazing to hear stories like that from clients, and especially it's super meaningful to hear from you because you went from being a client and, as you mentioned earlier, having to balance, one having a family as well as trying to get reaccredited and everything like that with all the financial areas as well. And it's honestly amazing to see how far you've come. And we're like so fortunate enough to have you here now as a partner of ours as well with Sure Success. I'll pass it off to Lydia, who can maybe give us a little bit more overview of exactly where we're able to help anyone on this call with Windmill Microlending.
Thank you so much, Tim, and thank you so much, Dr. Mohammed and every doctor on this call. Mohammed, I'll ask you please share your screen, and then I can share my screen. But yeah, this is a great testimony, and I hope it will inspire a lot of people on this call that everything is possible, right? As long as you have the right resources, if you have time, and of course, if you have that desire to return to your profession in Canada. So I'll share my screen in a second, and Tim, please let me know if everything is working.
It's just loading up right now. We're good to go.
Can you see my screen? Awesome. So as Dr. Mohammed mentioned, one of the challenges was that financial challenge as well. And many people, I have been working with immigrants for almost 6 years, and a lot of them are going through this financial challenge as well, because it's not easy if you don't have means in Canada and you have to work in a survival job. So what our organization does, Windmill provides affordable loans up to $15,000 exclusively to skilled immigrants and refugees. Very often when I present, people think that, you're a bank or a financial institution. And I always say, no, Windmill is a not-for-profit organization. Actually, we are 100% government registered charity. So Windmill started in Calgary. So Tim and myself, we are based out of Calgary. So and we are very proud that Windmill actually started here in 2005. And there was a nice lady behind like our organization. Unfortunately, now she passed away, but she was a doctor. She wasn't an immigrant, but she was working at the Calgary hospital, and she was so sad to see that a lot of cleaners and janitors at that hospital actually back at home, like they were nurses and doctors. So she gathered some powerful people in Calgary who donated like, their time and money, and she organized 5 loans in Calgary. And since then, so WinMilac has become a national organization, and now we have provided our clients with more than 13,000 loans. And here you can see that we are funded by the government of Canada, Ontario, Alberta, and Quebec. So what makes us unique and how we are different from any financial institution? So first of all, we don't require our clients to have Canadian credit history, but understand me right, we always check. So in some way, it's better not to have any credit in Canada than to have some credit history, which is not the greatest one. So what we are gonna check at any case, but let's say if you're brand new to Canada, you just landed, but you have this plan to return to your profession as soon as possible. So like you have zero credit history, still you might be eligible for our program. Same idea here, we don't ask you to have a stable income or to have a stable job because we understand that you are preparing for your exams, you are going through some difficult challenges, so we understand that. And of course, like you can live off your savings, you can live off your EI, maybe some government support available to you as well. And we don't ask you for any assets to secure a loan or have a consignor on your application. How our microloans can be used? Of course, they can be used for foreign credential recognition. It's exactly what you're looking for. So if back at home you were a doctor, now you are in Canada and you're trying to work as a doctor in Canada, you need to go through the process. Sorry, and Dr. Mohammed just has talked about that. So of course it can be used for a career change. So let's say I know that exams are very challenging, and I know that some of the people they cannot pass exams. But again, there is still life after that, right? And a lot of people they transition to an ultrasound technician and other professional as well. So I hope like you will pass your exams, but if you don't pass your exams, still you can apply our program for a career change. So professional development or upskilling, of course, we help with that, and relocation for employment within Canada. This is very important. So let's say if you are now in Ontario, you passed your exams, but then you got a placement like somewhere in Vancouver. So like then you need to relocate to Vancouver, and with me like we will be happy to help you with that in some specific cases if you can provide that you got a job at a different province or at a different city in Canada. So what we can cover here, you can see that we can cover quite a lot of things. So we can cover your tuitions, we can cover your course fees, so exam fees, right? So if you need to pay for your exam. There was a question in the chat box if Sure Success Canada charges money for their preparation. Yes, they do, and maybe in the Q&A part we can talk a little bit about more about that. But again, if you tell us, hey, I'm preparing for this most difficult exam and I need my prep course, so we can cover your preparation for your exams as well. So we can cover your books and course materials, and of course living allowances. So living allowances is a very important thing. So let's say if you're in Canada and you work as an Uber driver, and meanwhile you're preparing for your exams, so it's very hard to do both. So if you need to quit your job or reduce the amount of hours, then we might help you to pay your rent and groceries. And even if you have kids at home and you need to put them into a daycare, we can help with that, as long as you can prove that it's related to your education, it's related to your success in Canada. So here you can see our loan details. So like the minimum amount that you can borrow from us is 2,000. The maximum amount is 15,000. We have a fixed interest rate, and in a second I'll show you another slide just with some examples. You can pay us at any time with no penalties or administrative fees. So if you suddenly win a lottery or you got a job and then you can pay us off, we are happy for you. And also we have a grace period as well. And here you can see actually an example. So today, if you're in the healthcare, then you might be eligible for our healthcare product. Health care today has the cheapest interest in Canada. Basically, it's prime rate of Canada. So in Canada, there is prime rate, and prime rate today is 4.45. So here you can see an example. So let's say if you take 8,000 at 4.45, let's say you need 6 months to prepare for your exams and pass your exams. So first, during those 6 months, you can be just on the interest period only. It means you will be paying around $30 a month. And then it says 9 months because we add 3 months for you to find a job. So if it takes for some time to find a placement at the hospital, so then still for 9 months you will be on the grace period. After that, we will ask you to pay the principal plus the interest back, and you can see that the payments will be around $236 a month. But for you to know, because we are government-funded charity, we are not-for-profit organization, so we are not just a loan program. We have a lot of support for you. We have client success coach available. We have career planning resources, financial literacy training for you to understand what might happen if you don't pay us back, or how you can pay faster. And also we have our own mentorship program, which is led by Tim. By the way, he is a great person, and he helps a lot of IMGs like with matching them with the right person who will be their mentor. And just a couple of slides left to brag about us. If you Google us, you will see that we have 5 solid stars from almost every client. So, and you can read about us. Same as Dr. Mohammed was mentioning his client success coach Joyce, that she helped him so much on the way to his career. It's what we do at Windmill. Here you can see our eligibility. So like for those who want to apply for our loan, we will ask you to be in Canada, of course. So you need to live in Canada. You cannot apply outside of Canada, and we will ask you to have a permanent status in Canada. And briefly, I will explain some of the statuses here. So with the permanent resident card, I guess everybody knows that if you have PR, but also if you have not received your card yet, but you have your lending papers, then you might be eligible for our loan. Provincial nominee, I mean those who are like, I was a provincial nominee 12 years ago. So if any province in Canada, they proved you that they need you, and then you submitted your application for PR already, even if you don't have PR card, but you've submitted your application and like you have the province letter, then you're eligible for our loan. By Canadian citizen, I mean those who like me, I'm a Canadian citizen, but I am an immigrant. If you are in the same situation that you were not born in Canada, but you came here and you got your passport, then you might be eligible for our loan. Convention refugee or protected person, meaning again, if you're just waiting for the government decision, then you're not eligible. As soon as they send you that letter, the notice of decision, then you become eligible for our loan. And lastly, we ask you to have some post-secondary education outside of Canada, or at least 1 year of work experience outside of Canada, which I'm sure a lot of them on this call you guys have. So how you can apply for our loan, and this is very important. Of course, you can apply through our website. But if you do that, I ask you, please put that, how did you hear about us? Put the webinar with sure success, or put just a webinar. But like if you use this link and I'll ask team to share this link in the chat box, then it will help us to see that you're coming specifically from this webinar, because this link actually will bring you to our web site as well. Just I'll see that 10 people are coming from this webinar to check how great we are and what we can do for you. But basically, that's it. I run quickly through my slides because I want you guys to have that valuable time with doctors who can answer your questions. But again, if you have some questions about Windmill, just submit your questions in the Q&A box. It will help team to manage those questions. And now we will have some time for answering your question and also for the chit chat, I guess, in some way,
Yeah.
networking.
Awesome. Thank you, Lydia. So yeah, I'll do a quick little introduction of all the amazing panelists we have here on this call. I know maybe two of them have already had to hop off, but we were fortunate enough to hear from them earlier. And then I'll also, after the quick little introduction, I'll pass it off to some of the instructors that we have here from Sure Success to give a quick two-minute presentation, maybe, or a few words just on the courses that they teach. So today we have the wonderful, amazing Dr. Janice Shosky from British Columbia, who is a palliative care family physician working on Vancouver Island. We also heard recently from Dr. Nina Buzilla, who is one of the French CARMS mentors and also a specialized psychiatrist Ontario. We also heard earlier from Dr. Romela Ramon as well, who is also the CARMS mentor on the English side for Sure Success. And they are currently completing their family medicine residency as well. We are also very fortunate enough to have Dr. Divya Mohite from Ontario, who is currently working in a family medicine clinic and is also an instructor at Sure Success for actually two other courses, one of them being the English MCCQE1 exam, and the second being the USMLE1 exam. We also have Dr. Arushi Adav from Ontario, who is also working in a family medicine clinic currently and is also an instructor for Sure Success Canada for their NAC OSCE exam. And then we may also hear from a few other instructors and mentors as the Q&A session goes on, such as Mr. Syed Youssef, who is an instructor for their OET and English language courses, Mr. Shawab, who is an associate mentor, and as well as Mr. Shad, who is their registrar. So maybe I'll pass it off to, I guess I'll kind of go one by one. Dr. Janice, if you want to give a quick overview of the course you teach.
Sure. Thank you for the introduction. And I'd like to start by welcoming all of you to coming to Canada. As you can, I was born, raised, and trained in Canada, out of Manitoba. I found Sure Success when I was wanting to re-enter medicine after being retired for 12 years. And I took the MCQE1 course and the NAC OSCE course, and then I ended up being involved with helping to teach. So, and I'm involved with helping with the counseling cases in the NAC OSCE courses. And I've got something written because otherwise I can go off the rails a little bit. So here I go. In Canada, patient-centered care is the core principle. The most important components of the NAC OSCE examinations are communication and patient counseling. You can know a lot, but unless you can communicate it, you're not going to go very far. As physicians, we are expected to have a solid base of clinical knowledge and the ability to communicate using words that our patients understand. When people come to see us, they are often anxious, and we need to be aware of and address their concerns and expectations. And it is important to be able to develop empathic patient-physician relationships, which enable us to help guide people to make good medical decisions. In the counseling sessions, we practice breaking bad news, discussing treatment options and potential risks, dealing with medical errors, along with many other issues, including lifestyle counseling. It's important to know we provide a safe environment for you to learn. Using structured communication frameworks, we practice simulated patient encounters. We give you feedback on your communication style, clarity of explanation, body language, and patient engagement. This approach helps you to organize your thoughts through the limited time of each NAC OSCE station, allowing you to stay calm, focused while interacting with patients. And this helps you to develop confidence in your ability to provide patient-centered care. And I guess when I think about my experience of Sure Success, that our goal is to help you become competent, compassionate, and confident physicians in the Canadian healthcare system. And again, I'm grateful you've decided to come to Canada. We are a multicultural country, and we know from studies that if people are able to go to a doctor who has the same cultural language background, they're more likely to do follow-up. And so that's really important. That's really important. So I encourage you, if I could do it after being retired 12 years and my background was in palliative care, you can do it too. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Dr. Janice. Dr. Mohite, if you want to do a quick introduction about the two courses you teach.
Sure. Thank you, Tim, for the introduction. Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Divya here. So I've been working in the family physician clinic in Canada since a year almost. And I was an ex-student of Sure Success as well. I attended the NAC OSCE course and the QE1 course. And guess what? I found out I love teaching. I learned way more than what I could by myself. And here I am to guide all the students through the journey as well. So let me start with an overview of the QE1 exam, right? The MCC QE1 exam. It is the Medical Council of Canada qualifying examination part 1. And this is one of the most important steps for every international medical graduate who wants to practice medicine in Canada, be it the CAMS pathway or the PRA assessment that Dr. Said discussed with us. Everyone who enters and wants to practice medicine in Canada has to do the QE1 exam. So this exam evaluates a candidate's medical knowledge, clinical decision making, and ability to apply medical concepts to real patient scenarios. So there are clinical cases for which you have to choose the best answer. The exam consists mainly of multiple choice questions, and now the exam pattern has changed to be everything multiple choice questions. It assesses how well a candidate can analyze clinical information, prioritize investigations, and choose appropriate management. So preparing for the MCCQE1 requires not only a strong medical knowledge, but also a clear understanding of how clinical problems are approached within the Canadian healthcare system. At Sure Success Canada, we provide a structure and comprehensive MCCQE1 prep program designed specifically for IMGs. Our course focuses on high-yield topics commonly tested on the exam, including internal medicine, pediatrics, obs and gynae, psychiatry, surgery, and preventive medicine, and most importantly, the ethics, followed by the Canadian guidelines. We guide students through clinical reasoning, diagnostic thinking, and management planning using exam-style questions and structured discussions. We help students understand how to approach questions systematically and avoid common mistakes. Students practice with exam-style multiple choice questions and clinical scenarios that closely resemble the format of the MCCQE1 exam. We also emphasize time management. Time management is the most critical part of the examination, right? So we also emphasize time management, question analysis strategies, and test-taking techniques that are essential for success. Another important aspect of our program is mentorship and continuous guidance. So students receive feedback, academic support, and advice on planning their licensing pathway in Canada. At Sure Success Canada, our goal is not only to help candidates pass the QE1 exam, but also to help them develop the clinical reasoning skills and confidence required for the next steps of their medical career in Canada, including the NAC OSCE exam and residency applications. So like Tim said and Dr. Said said, we do have a NAC OSCE course as well, which is aligned with the MCC QE1 topics so that the knowledge you gain in the QE1 classroom is applied and practiced during the NAC OSCE training as well. Through this structured teaching, mentorship, and practical guidance, we support international medical graduates on their journey towards successful medical practice in Canada. So I will be available for the Q&A session as well. So if any questions need to be asked, please feel free to ask me. Thank you. Thank you very
Awesome.
much.
Thank you, Dr. Mohite. Yeah, I do want to hop over to the Q&A session pretty soon because I know we are running out of time and we have a lot of questions. Dr. Arushi, I know I You also teach a course if you want to give a quick introduction on the course you teach.
All right, thank you, Tim. Very good afternoon, everyone. My name is Arushi. I am also an ex-student and current instructor at Sure Success. I teach NAC OSCE courses to all the students and physicians who are applying for the NAC OSCE. So I'll just give you a brief introduction of the exam and how we teach. It is a very sophisticated exam that aims at testing physicians not just on their knowledge, but also on how they present that knowledge during that station. 11 minutes seem not a lot of time, but if you break it down per every minute, per every question, per every second, it becomes a very stressful exam. There are a lot of areas that the exam judges you on, but there are three main things that I can break it down to. One is clinical skill, the communication, professionalism, and management at each station. At Sure Success, we run stimulated training programs that break down the structure that a physician is supposed to carry forward according to the Canadian guidelines, the system, the ethics, the rules, the laws. And we present different scenario and different interactions that one might encounter at each station. It not just involves a simple patient that comes in with a problem in their stomach. It can also be rude patients. It can be patients who are suffering, who are coming from different walks of life. And as a physician, when you're put forward with such different scenario, how do you manage? That's what the exam revolves around. And at Sure Success and all the students I currently have, we all train towards finding a way that irrespective of what you're walking into, what station you're walking into, no one is thrown off balance. You have the confidence and the calmness in that nerve-wracking situation to compose yourself, put forward your thoughts in a way that you can communicate with the patient. The patient understands what you're asking of them. If the patient's not able to understand, you reconfirm, you understand, you recheck. So that's what I teach. And I really hope I do see new faces in the class and they get to be on this journey together. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Dr. Arushi. All right, let's hop into the Q&A because I know we had a few questions that were asked. So what I will do is I'll read the questions that I have that people asked in the Q&A box. And then if any of the mentors or mentees or any representatives of Sure Success want to unmute and answer, maybe we'll do like one question, one answer kind of thing. The first question I had was, is it possible to get an offer for an academic position and practice before setting the MCCQE1 exam? If anyone wants to take a stab at that question.
I can answer.
Yeah.
So academic positions, they do not require QE1. You can directly contact with the universities if they accept you. Because MCC QE1 and NAC OSCE, these are for patient care, direct patient care. If you are not involved in direct patient care, you do not need MCC QE1 NAC OSCE exam.
Awesome. Thank you. I had one question here that was asking a little bit about Sure Success and kind of how that works. The question was more for if they are currently outside of Canada, are they still able to register for courses and take those, or do they have to be in Canada?
I think registrar can answer.
Sure can. Now we do have all of our classes available via Zoom, and basically you can go to our website and on the top drop-down menu, you're going to see Contact Us. Just send us your name and email, and we will send you the link to try out our trial classes. And also at the time of enrollment, simply let us know, and we will send you instruction on how to enroll. So it's a lot of our, almost 30% of our participants are outside of Canada, in the Middle East and other places. So it's no big deal. And you can log in to a Zoom session anytime, and you can also, we also record our classes, so you can also view it later on in the video library. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Shad. I have another one that was actually talking a bit about the TDM exam. versus the MCCQE1 exam. So this person was asking, is the TDM exam easier to prepare for and pass than, let's say, the MCCQE1 exam?
I will answer this question. Yeah, so TDM is a specialized exam. It's a ready, physician is ready to work. So you can imagine that it should be difficult than QE1. So QE1 is mostly differential oriented and management oriented exam, but TDM is very specific. You write down dose, route, and name of the medication. So they don't ask you in QE1, write down the name, dose, and three counseling points. So in QE1, it's a general. You speak about some lifestyle modification or whatever. But in TDM, they ask you two of them, one of them. So it's very specific. Unless you pass QE1, NAC OSCE, don't try for TDM. It would be very difficult. TDM is highly specialized.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Another question I have here, and maybe this is something that Dr. Mohite and Dr. Yadev can maybe answer. It's someone was just asking, what is considered a good score on the QE1 or the NAC OSCE exam? Let's say they're in Manitoba, so they're like to maybe match in Manitoba. What is like a typical good score, you would say?
I can answer. The good score is nowadays because, sorry, Dr. Divya, the things are changed very recently. So what happened, the passing score, they changed from 65 to 73%. So now if you pass, you have good score. Remember, if you pass, you have a good score. There is no bad score, good score. It's 73%, very difficult to achieve 73%. And Dr. Divya, if you want to say anything, or Dr. Yadav.
So I would like to add to this. Yes, so since the score percentile has increased, just passing is a good score already because the hard work that you put in is a lot of hard work. And if you pass the exam, you're good to go with the journey already.
I'd like to add to that as well. So yes, what Dr. Sayed said was completely, I agree to that. Passing is already like putting you up there with the Canadian medical graduates. But additionally, if you're very sure about what certain specific practice you want to have outside of family medicine or internal medicine, having a very good score with a good mentor, if you're already putting in so much of effort and you have the right guidance and right mentorship, I feel like having an extraordinary score will definitely get you to whatever field you want to have and continue your practice in that.
Awesome. Thanks so much. I have a question here. And that basically the person was asking for the CARMS pathway or the pathways, do we need the TDM and OET as well, or only based on the MCC QE1 and NAC OSCE can we apply for the residency match?
Dr. Romella is here.
Nope.
Okay.
I see Mr. Shoaib also raised his hand, so I'll pass it over to you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Just to introduce myself, my name is Shoaib Khan. I'm actually one of the mentors helping Dr. Rayman in this process. So if you have any questions regarding the application process, you can feel free to ask me, no problem. Regarding the MCCQE and the OET and all the questions you're asking, basically, the requirement is to be an IMG to apply. You need to do your MCCQE and you need to do your NAC OSCE. Those are the main minimum requirements. Once you do that, then you can start applying, because once you pass those, you can start applying for the main process. Now, beyond that, there are reference letters needed. There are English proficiency tests needed, which is OET is the most recommended one, but you can do IELTS, you can do anything else. TDM is a different pathway. PRA is a different pathway, so that is not part of the CARMS process if you're applying as an IMG.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Another question we have here is once I pass the MCCQE1 exam, then I need to pass the NAC OSCE or then do I need to pass the NAC OSCE to start my practice? And then kind of at what point in this journey do I need to decide the province I want to work in?
Good question. So MCCQE and NAC OSCE are both minimum requirements. You have to pass both exams. MCCQE is a written exam. NAC OSCE is an in-person exam where they make you go through a real-life scenario where you're seeing 12 patients in 5 to 10 minutes interval, and you have to diagnose their problems or basically treat them as they need to be. Once you pass both exams, then you can apply to CARMS after that. Yes.
Awesome. Thank you so much. This is probably a good question for Mr. Shad. The question is, what is like, really briefly, what is the cost implications of the courses you offer at Sure Success? I've seen also a few times people have asked, do we have free access to these as Windmill recipients? I can answer that. These Sure Success courses are paid. You won't have free access to them as Windmill clients, but we're more than happy to help you on the financial side to take these courses with Sure Success. But yeah, Mr. Shada, if you want to tell us a bit about, what's the cost of some of these courses?
Sure. So to make it easy, we have most of our courses are a standard 1,999 Canadian dollars plus the provincial tax. And those of you who are overseas, because as I mentioned earlier, we have several that are from Middle East, India, Malaysia. They usually only pay the amount 1,990. There's no tax since they are overseas. But that's basically for QE1 is the same, 1,999 plus tax, and then NAC OSCE 1,999 plus tax. And most of the other courses are similar in that way, except for the language courses, OET and IELTS or CELPIP, they may be much lower, but our medical courses are standard, uniform.
Awesome. Thank you. I know we are coming up really close on the time, so and we have a lot of questions. So I'll ask one more question that I have from the Q&A box, and then I'm sure we have questions that we weren't able to get to, and I'll touch on those really briefly afterwards. But the question I
Sorry,
have
Tim.
here,
I'm
yeah,
sorry, Tim. Just to add, like since we have a lot of questions, basically, if you have time and the speakers have time, we can extend it by 10 to 15 minutes.
yeah, that works too. If
And answer
everyone,
just more questions, yeah.
yeah, if all of our panelists are able to stay for a little bit, we can also do that. But I guess I can ask this other question. I'll do a quick little wrap up and then if anyone needs to hop off call, they're more than welcome to after that. But the question was the MCCQE1 results, they expire after 2 years now, and you cannot rewrite once you pass. What do you do if you have not matched and the MCCQE1 results expire?
Can I answer that one?
Yeah.
So MCCQE1 results in Canada, they do not expire. They do not have an expiry date. So once you write them and you pass the exam, it'll be valid throughout your life in Canada.
Awesome. Thank you. Alrighty. So as I mentioned earlier, I'll just do a quick little wrap up on just for the end of the webinar because I know we are here at the end of the time. If our panelists are open to it and if they want to, they can stay on for a little bit longer. I'll try to answer some of those other questions. But again, if you have to hop off the call or anything, you're more than welcome to. If you have questions you want to ask that we weren't able to get to or that we might not be able to get to after this, if they're Windmill Microlending support or Windmill Microlending related, feel free to reach out to us at info@teamwindmill.org, or you can also go onto that website that I pasted a couple times in chat. That's gonna be a great way to see a little bit more about what we offer at Windmill, and you should be able to contact us from there. As well as if you have any questions related to Sure Success and maybe the programs that they offer here, you're also able to email them here at registration@suresuccess.ca. We want to make sure that everyone's questions are answered, hopefully. So yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to email either one of these. We'll try to get back to you as soon as possible. Let's say if you have a specific question related to maybe an instructor in specific, or you want to maybe ask someone like Dr. Arushi a question in particular, feel free to email registration@suresuccess.ca and maybe just put in that who you want to ask the question to, and they will try to get back to you when they have time. But overall, I want to thank everyone once again for joining the session. It means a lot to us, especially because this is a perfect partnership of what Windmill does and what Sure Success does. And it's great that we're able to come together and really help out and give a little bit more insight into what IMGs need to do or what they might have to face during the whole licensure process. So yeah, really appreciate it. Lydia, if you had anything you also wanted to add, maybe, or if you're good, then we'll hop over to finishing up a couple other questions, maybe.
Sorry, yeah, I've seen a question for Windmill, like somebody was asking in the chat box. I was wondering if Windmill, like microloans, are available for applicants who have a high income but also have existing mortgage obligations. Yes, we are not bound by that you have to be on a low income. So we look at your situation in particular. So like you can apply and see, I'll share again a link in a second with some encouragement for you guys, because the thing is like what Dr. Mohammed was saying, his story and everything, right? So like you have to be very like you need to believe that you can do that, so because you will have your ups and downs, and like it's not easy. And I'm just a mentor for immigrants, and I have my own project like, where I always say like you need to stay positive and please don't stuck with negative stories. I always tell like go to every walk-in clinic in Canada and you will find a lot of people who are immigrants there, like they made it happen, right? So then why you cannot, right? So like, but when you hear an individual who tells you, well, it's so hard like to become a doctor like here, I would suggest don't stick with that story, because again, look for positive stories. Look at Dr. Mohammed's stories. Again, feeling down, go to a walk-in clinic, see who works there in Canada, and just be inspired.
Yeah, great words. Great words of encouragement. Thank you so much for that, Lydia. Yeah, so if all of our panelists are okay, maybe I'll take an extra 10 minutes if I can borrow some of your time, just to ask a few more questions, if that's okay. And again, if you have, anything you gotta do or you gotta hop off the call, by all means, feel free, because I know this is past the time now. I'm just gonna stop sharing so I can open up those questions again. I did see some questions, and I guess this is also for Mr. Shad. Some people were asking, are the courses you offered in both English and French, or are they usually only offered in English?
Okay, so our English, as far as the English MCC QE course, is both the lecture slides are both in English and French, but we now have also started a French MCC QE class exclusively for French speaking. So there's a French speaker, and there's also a French separate NAC OSCE class as well. So
Awesome.
both languages we have two separate instructors.
Perfect. Thank you.
If they have a question, they can ask Dr. Amini for instructor for French, NAC OSCE and MCC QE1.
And you can forward the question to us, and we will forward it to her as well. Or right now, I don't know if she is in.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Oh,
Yeah, yeah, for French classes. Yeah. If they have questions, yes, I'm able to respond.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I'll give Sure Success a bit of a break from answering all these questions. So, Lydia, it's a question for you. I guess it could also be for me, but I'll pass it to you. At Windmill, do you have career counseling sessions for IMGs? How do you apply? And maybe, what are some of the other supports that you offer for IMGs?
Okay, so like yes, I'll take my part from Windmill, right? So and then Tim, you can speak like from the partnerships side, and then you can speak from your side. So we do have like some support, but for those who are already our clients, if you're not our client yet, occasionally we do have like different sessions. Like for example, I am a presenter on Windmill and career tips as well, because outside of Windmill, I'm a mentor for immigrants. And I have my own project, and just recently I was presenting, and I'm doing it as a volunteer. I just share the link in the chat box with you as well. Things which are very important for you in Canada, and it's the right question for you to ask because I can share a short story with you. I have a family doctor in Canada who was born here, and then I have a walk-in clinic, and I have a nice doctor there who is from Nigeria, and sometimes I'm going to see a doctor for my allergy shots. And every time he asks me, so why I'm not your family doctor? And once I told him, because you scream at me. So it's kind of like those things are very important as well, like when you are doing your interview. So there is one thing to pass an exam, but then how you can get a job at the hospital, like, no, right? A lot of things are important. How you talk to people, your soft skills. Are you being direct, or you're being you are being inspiring or negative, and you telling people you're gonna die tomorrow, right? In Canada, things are working quite differently than your home country, and you have to keep that in mind to have that sandwich. In terms of like first good, then bad, then good, right? But for more sessions, I'll pass it to Tim. I don't know, Tim, if you guys do like some sessions for those who are not Windmill clients.
Yeah, so Lydia already during her part, she talked a bit about some of the resources we have, like our financial literacy training courses and everything like that. One other thing that we also offer here at Windmill for our clients specifically is our mentorship program, which is what I help run. And the main part of that is I basically will just pair you with someone else who is an IMG, or not an IMG, but like a practicing physician in Canada, just so you can get a quick little like one-time chat with them for the month, just so you can get a bit of an overview and ask your questions directly to someone who's actually practicing as a doctor in Canada. If you're already a client, you're more than welcome. Just go on our website. You'll find our community success hub or the mentorship page, and you can just create your account from there. But yeah, that's basically what we have on the Windmill side of things. I also have one question here for you, Lydia, as well. It's if someone asks if you've recently received a Windmill loan or maybe a loan from the past for an exam or anything that you've taken, would you be able to reapply again to participate in some of the Sure Success courses? So would you be able to get a second loan to take some of these courses?
Okay, this is a great question. So windmills maximum amount is 15,000. So let's say if you apply for a loan for the maximum amount of 15,000, then you won't be eligible to take a second loan unless you've paid the first loan off. But let's say if now you decide to apply for a loan and for sure success, and maybe if I'm right, you don't need like 15,000. So first of all, like you need like just like a couple of thousand to start and see if it's enough. But Dr. Mohammed can talk more about that. So, but then when you apply for a loan, you tell, hey, I have this plan. First, I need my prep course. Then I need to pass my exam. Then I need my living allowances, and usually you don't need it all at once. So you can be approved for 15,000, but I wouldn't recommend you to take the full amount. And a client success coach would do the same. So first you would take let's say 2,000 or 3,000. Then like eventually when you are done with some exams, then you can move to the next step. So like to answer your questions again, question. So if you already used 15,000, then no, unless you pay it off. Or if you took a small amount, then you can talk to your case manager, and you might be able to take more. Yeah, just not more than 15,000.
Yeah. Yeah, if I can jump in with that as well, I've seen a few times where clients have taken some loans and they came back and they needed a second one to sometimes take prep courses. I would just recommend you to reach out to your career coach or either reach out to our loan management team, and we'll be more than happy to at least look into your thing, even if you've taken 15,000 or less. We're always happy to at least give a little bit more of a insight and sometimes make some of those exceptions sometimes. I have a question here that was asked, that was asking, this is going to go back to Sure Success. Can someone who is planning to change careers also prepare and take the MCCQE1 and NAC OSCE exams from outside of Canada after taking the exam? And how can Sure Success help someone in kind of the career changing stage of their life secure licensing and job opportunities?
Yeah, we help with your MCC QE1, NAC OSCE, TDM exam preparation, OET, occupational English test. And if you want to apply for CARMS, our mentors are here available. Other than that, we don't have any idea about how to help, because these are the bridging program. He might be asking some bridging program. So bridging program, we don't have any idea. We work for this CARMS, PRA, and we can help with direct appointments when they are specialists. They need MCCQE1. Many of them, they passed MCCQE1 and they are now passed their Royal College second part exam. So these paths we help. Other than that, we don't have any expertise in that.
Awesome. Perfect. Thank you, Dr. Mohammed. This is a question that also came in earlier during the call. I believe you're maybe talking about observership, because this person's question says, is the observership same as the mentorship program? They said they checked on the website and they weren't sure of what kind of the differentiation was on your end.
Observership involves working in a clinic, family medicine clinic, under direct supervision of family doctor. That is different from NAC OSCE. NAC OSCE is a preparation of exam, which is a simulated exam, but observership is dealing with real patients. So two different things. And when they complete 12 weeks, they will receive a certificate that they have completed 12 weeks, and family doctor will write recommendation letter in CARMS application. So there are two different things. NAC OSCE is a structured exam preparation, a structured exam. This is the real patient scenario.
Perfect. I had another question here, and I believe we'll wrap it up after this one. And then again, if anyone is still on the call and has any questions, you're more than welcome to email, and I'll put the screen up after this. But the question this person had, and it's going to be for you, Dr. Mohammed. Earlier in your presentation, you had a list of the different provinces and kind of like the practice options there. Their question was, please, what are the possible practice options for New Brunswick if you know, as I don't think they might have catched it on your list.
Okay, so we can forward you if you know your email address about Brunswick, New Brunswick.
Okay.
So
Perfect.
can you send a message to registration@suresuccess.ca, and we will get back to you.
Awesome. And then actually, I just have one other question here that I thought was a good one. Someone asked, how much does medical school GPA or class ranking matter for IMG applicants in the CARMS pathway, compared to factors like their MCCQE1 scores, Canadian electives, and reference letters?
Mostly they consider MCCQE1 and NAC OSCE scores.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you. Well, yeah, again, thank you so much again for all of our Sure Success representatives for staying on the call for a little bit longer to help answer some of those questions. Again, if you still have questions that we weren't able to get to, again, on the Windmill Microlending side of things, please email us at info@teamwindmill.org. And then if you have some questions for the Sure Success side of things, please email them at registration@suresuccess.ca. But yeah, that wraps up our webinar for today. Thank you again, everyone, so much for joining the webinar, and I really hope you all gained a lot of insight into the pathways of being an IMG in Canada and getting back into practicing medicine here in Canada. And again, thank you so much to all of our amazing panelists and representatives from Sure Success Canada. It really means a lot.
Yeah, and just to add, please expect a follow-up email from myself and team, so it will come directly from Zoom. We will submit a recording link there as well and some resources. So, and yes, if you have some questions, like we have available at Sure Success or Windmill, and again, remember, stay positive. Like, look at all of the wonderful doctors and panelists on this call. So you've made it through, so you will make it as well.